riding. Hyped happy hour, hyped happy hour. Talking about life, so you might feel empowered. Hyped happy hour, hyped happy hour. Tornado on the mic with a guest giving flowers. Hyped happy hour, hyped happy hour. Tools, interviews provide life tapping power. Hyped happy hour, hyped happy hour. Positive and light with advice, build your tower. Happiness is key, so you gotta bring the smiles out. Inspiration needs a bit of passion to just wild out. Positivity and optimism when we ride out. Enthusiasm and dreams, gotta feed them till your time's out.
Let's go. Hyped
Wow, who made that
happy
beat for you,
hour,
bro?
episode 11. Your boy Gentle Tornado, Dan the Lost Boy made it for me. Heard we are riding on this beautiful night. Grateful to be here. Gentle Tornado, Hyped Happy Hour, episode 11. My boy Heard. We are here. I created a company called Live Hyped about 5 years ago, and Hyped is an acronym that stands for happiness, inspiration, positivity, enthusiasm, and dreams. And we believe here at Hyped that if you lived a hype life, you were going to amplify your life to the next level. Our logo is an H with a heartbeat in the middle because we have one life and we never know how many heartbeats we have. So I am joined here today with my man, Irving HURDDD. He is an absolute legend, one of my best friends. I can say that. I love this dude. I'm so glad to have him here. HURDDD, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm great, man. I'm great. Coming off that beat, I feel real nice. I feel real nice right now.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. Listen, we like to start it off with what we're grateful for. So what are you grateful for today?
Man, I have a lot to be grateful for, but today especially, I woke up, started my winning streak, like my boy likes to call it. We got some good news from the doctors. My wife's pregnant, all good. Got some good pics of the baby, and all systems go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Love it. Winning streak engaged. Listen, for the listeners, for the viewers, my boy HURDDD hit me up when he found out he was pregnant. I was literally honored. I was honored. He told me that he was pregnant, having a kid. Just absolute legend. He's going to crush it as a dad. I'm so pumped. Just not going to know the sex of the baby. Holy shit. I'm just going to get the first curse word out of the way.
Let's go.
Mind blown, dude. I could never imagine you doing me doing that. So you doing that, I'm literally so freaking excited for you, dude.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right. So we're riding hard in this episode. So the goal of this podcast is to bring awareness to the words within Hyped, because I want to amplify those. I want to make positivity louder in the real world. And I want to bridge Web3 in the crypto world and Hyped together. And I feel like I have the niche to do that. So we're going to go straight into it. HURDDD, what I want you to do is I want you to give me a 2 to 3 minute origin story-esque superhero type shit. Who is Irving HURDDD? Who are you? Tell me.
Man, that's a loaded question. I guess I'll start with the basics. 25 years old, born and raised Brooklyn, New York. I'm blessed, 4 brothers, big family, 2 amazing parents, a lot of friends around me, good support system. What could I give you here? Oh, I want to give you something good. I'm a pretty basic guy, just been grinding through my whole life, trying to make something of myself. I'm big on hard work meeting luck, and that creates a perfect storm of how you become what you want to be. And, if there's one thing that I believe in is, work hard and the right things will happen in your life. And, your job on this earth is to do the best you can do, whether it's for your family, whether it's for yourself, your people, whoever you want to do it for. And, if you do that, you'll be successful. So, that's what I live by.
Let's go. Love to hear it. Tell me a little bit about your childhood.
So, pretty basic childhood. Went to school, middle school, came up the ranks. I have one older brother. That was good. Always looking up to an older brother, having a role model. That was pretty cool. Blessed to have 3 younger brothers also. So I like to think I instilled some goodness in them along the way. And as a kid, big on sports still. I love to watch sports. Don't play as much nowadays. But I used to play hockey in league in school. a little bit of basketball, but I was never really good enough to make the cut there. So I spent my time playing hockey with my other boys, and yeah, you know, just grinded through school. Was a pretty solid student overall. You know, here and there had my you know, like anyone else, we were all kids, but yeah, for the most part, pretty basic stuff. And you know, blessed to have a good support system, good friends that I came up with, and you know, still I'm proud to call them my boys, and blessed to have new boys that I've met along the way, like my boy Nato here, dear friend of mine. So
Dude, what's your favorite sport?
uh ooh, football.
Yeah, who's your football team?
Giants. Ooh,
Yeah, fucking
yeah,
ride or die.
put that shit in a blender real quick.
Ride or
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you guys lose
Yeah.
Saquon, or do you guys still have Saquon?
No, we got Saquon, but you know,
Okay.
just when we drafted him overall, probably not the best pick in our current position. We were not, you know, equipped to win when we drafted him, and he was a win now type of running back. But you know, we won't get into that. We're here
Yeah.
for the hype and spread that Web3. Love
All
that
right,
mission.
let's
So
go.
let's
Let's
go.
go. So tell me how you got into Web3 in the crypto place. Tell me
So
your journey.
I started off, you know, in Top Shot, like a lot of people. I think that's probably a natural progression for me. I was a big sports guy, love NBA, so that was pretty easy for me. You know, then the Top Shot bubble burst, and you know, two of my boys hit me up on the same day, coincidentally, and they were like, "Yo, we gotta download this app, MetaMask. We gotta get involved here. We gotta get in the thick of this. There's action happening, and we're missing out. We need to be here. This is the place to be." So you know, quickly enough, we downloaded the app. I happened to have had a little crypto exposure prior to that, so you know, I figured out how to send my ETH in, and there we were, you know, pretty pumped, sitting by the computer, all three of us, little morons, ready to mint the first rug pull of our career. So that was, you know, that was a good time, just throwing ETH at a bunch of rugs. But once you made it past that, and you learn a little, and you realize what the space is really about, that was kind of when I had my my what the fuck moment, I like to call it. And you know, and that's been the driving passion behind, you know, what I like to do on my free time.
Let's go. I love to hear it. Love to hear a lot of people got in through NBA Top Shot, so it's
Top
dope
Shot,
that you
man.
had
I'm grateful for
that
Top
progression.
Shot.
Yeah. There
I'm
you go.
grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful.
Let's
It got me
go.
here, you know.
Let's go,
I am
dude.
still holding a great rare Zion Williamson slam dunk NBA All-Star moment. So if anyone wants that, hit your boy up.
Yo, shout out HURDDD. If you guys want to buy that, let me know. This is financial advice. We're out here.
HURDDD.
Hype Happy Hour. We're riding. Okay, listen, the way that we do the podcast, we go letter by letter, word by word within Hyped. So we start off with happiness. Just incredible. We're going to start off with happiness, and I'm going to read to you my favorite definition of success. So I'm going to share my screen. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So it's to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Tell me how you feel. How do you feel when you hear that?
Those are deep words, man. A lot in there. A lot to unpack there. Just a lot of different avenues you could do good, you know. I think, you know, what they're trying to say there is like, it doesn't matter how you choose to do good, just be good, you know.
Yes, just be good.
And I love that.
There was nothing about money. There's nothing about money.
No, you want to, you know, garden a patch in the fields for people to enjoy, you know, do that. That's your calling, you know. Everyone, you know, I'm a big believer everyone's got their calling, and you know, you got to do your calling, and that's what you're here to do.
I love it. And your calling's to have 47 kids, so we already know that with your family history. So don't worry, I'm gonna be here riding, supporting you the whole way.
Coming from the one who's building a whole little bungalow over there, you know.
Take it easy. Hey, take it easy. I think we're done. 3's a lot. Okay, listen, it's a lot.
That's what they always say.
Three under 4. Listen, guys, just wait a little bit longer. Okay,
quick work, man.
I'll tell you right now. They're 3 boys though. They're gonna be. It's crazy, dude. We're gonna have 3 little tornadoes. We already got running around.
That's
It's just
crazy,
wild,
man.
Okay, so we're gonna get straight into happiness after that. Man, what is the happiest moment of your life?
Probably my wedding day. That was big. I feel like I'll get a lot of brownie points when my wife watches this one. So let's go.
Let's go. So how did you meet your wife? Tell me about your wedding day. Tell me about how you
Oof.
met your wife, and then your wedding day.
So it's funny. I met my wife. Sort of sad story. My one of my one of my best friends. His father passed away at a young age. He was in his early 20s. So that was tough. For him, his family, obviously, but for the boys too. We knew his dad pretty well coming out. He was great guy. He always had us by his house and whatnot, hosted us, and very very good guy. So we were visiting a lot, and we were just popping in and out. So it happened. Unfortunately, it happened for him a couple days after he got married. So, like, yeah, a whirl of emotions you could
Wow,
probably
man.
imagine. So the boys collectively were there a lot.
Yeah.
Just to be there, and happened to be she was friends with his wife, so she had popped in from time to time, and then one thing led to another, and that's kind of how we met. So kind of a tragic story, but my boy loves that something good came out of that for his family. So
That's
pretty cool.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate, but a great thing that he likes that. How long
yeah.
after you guys met, or get after that, did you guys start dating?
Pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick. I happened to have had seen her out like after that, like pretty close by at like a party or something, and then like we were hitting it off, and then like I think I asked her out on a date, and that was pretty much how that went. you know,
Let's
that was,
go, dude. Okay, so tell me about your wedding.
oof. So my wedding was weird time. We actually pushed it up a little bit because of COVID. Um, we were trying to do it outdoors. So we live in New York, so summertime. We were supposed to get married like November, so it'd be pretty cold. You can't really do it outdoors then. So we actually pushed it up about 3 months, and we did it outside. It was pretty small, relatively. Some people would probably call it a big wedding. Uh, for us, relatively, it was pretty small, and it was great. It was our closest family and friends, like my best friends and people that I would want around me, and it was incredible. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Did you guys party
Yeah,
hard?
yeah, we partied pretty hard. Yeah,
Let's
yeah, we
go.
partied pretty hard.
Let's go. How old is your youngest brother?
So I have a youngin. He's like 12. What is he? 12?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, I got a young.
So
I got a young.
12, then what's the other ages? Walk me through the ages.
So he's 12. We got a 17, 22, myself 25, and my brother 27.
And your parents still live in Brooklyn.
My parents still live in Brooklyn. Yeah,
Nice, dude.
I'm actually
That's cool.
reporting live from my parents' crib.
Let's go. Riding. Let's go. Absolutely huge.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So what makes you happy every day? Give me a few things. Give me one thing.
I think what truly makes me happy, it's a tough one because a lot of things make you happy. You have a lot of good things in your life, a lot of people, be it your friends, your wife, or whatever you find happiness in. But I think what really makes me happy is like to know that I'm here another day, and to not let it go in vain, if that makes sense. Like we're here, and like I said, we're here to do something. We're not here to just dick around all day. We're here to do something, whatever that thing is, and just another opportunity to have another bang out day. It's just that's something to be happy for.
No, I love it, dude. Every day we wake up, we have an opportunity, and you get the choice to choose your attitude that day. And we were blessed enough to wake up, and that's 80, 99% of the battle, man, is getting up in the morning and just some people don't get to wake up, right? So it's just that it's you turn to that gratitude and you just go because at the end of the day we got one life, so we're out here living, we're out here
YOLO,
riding.
baby.
We can't stop, won't stop on this mission. So you've been in the Web3 space for a while. Tell me some of your top communities that you're involved in and what you like about those.
So that's a good question. I like everyone knows one of my favorites is Nifty. My boy here knows that.
Nifty Portal, shout out, baby.
Yeah, why I love them is because they're very similar to me. I could tell in their work ethic. They come every day, they grind. You see it, they're in your face every day, and I love that. And I love their sense of humor and just the community they built. And I could go on and on about that. So we won't. Invisible Friends is another one that I like a lot. I know a lot of people in that community, so that one's pretty cool. VFriends is one that I find myself having a lot of crossover with. People know I'm a Gary Vee fan, but I still no exposure. But for whatever reason, I find myself always talking to people that are like involved in that ecosystem. So for what that's worth, I think that's a good one. I've been in and out of communities here and there. Couple stuck out for the wrong reasons. So overall, like I don't really I don't have that much time that I put in like to Web3 on a daily basis because I have a job, real life shit that I got to worry about and whatnot, like everybody else. So the time that I do put in, I like to consolidate into stuff that I like to do, right? So and people I like to talk to. So I spend most of my time in Nifty, honestly.
Let's go, dude. We're right. Listen, don't you worry. We're gonna get you in the VFriends ecosystem because I want all of my friends to win.
I know. I gotta get me a box of cards also. Those shit dope.
I just got mine in the mail, bro.
I was gonna ask you about that. Are you gonna crack it, or are you gonna leave it on?
Yeah, I gotta crack.
You're gonna crack it.
I'm all in, dude. It's like I'm probably gonna pull some fire, dude. You already know.
Let's go.
Listen,
let's go.
Tell the viewers and tell the people listening about your Invisible Friends story, start to finish. Oh, I want to hear it, dude. Tell the crowd because I know it. It's a fucking crazy story. I want to hear about it.
We actually did a crazy live then. I got the whitelist, was blessed. Thank the Lord.
You were early, right? You were really early.
Yeah, I was real early. I was pretty early. One of my boys put me on pretty early, and I got the whitelist. Was blessed for that. And the mint experience was the come up. The whole process. I had a great time with. People probably could say I'm biased because I was whitelisted at that point. So like I was kind of enjoying that come up and that success. But that was fun. The mint experience was a lot of fun. Then, was mint night, minted, obviously, the return was there. So for the traders out there, that was the no brainer. Then I was left with the, that what, quote unquote, what the fuck moment do I do now? Because I could sell this thing right now for like 10, 12 ETH at the point. And ETH was $3-4 grand at the time.
Ripping.
Times were good. We were all okay.
Up only, baby.
Yeah, up only is right. So then I had that moment, and then it's funny, we went live, and Moose jumped into my pod, and then he attracted a bunch of people. I think that's how you probably popped in there in the first place. Yeah. And then I was like, what should I do? And we were bringing speakers up, and some people were like, yo, you got to diamond in that shit forever, and then some people were like, yo, listen, you have real life bills to pay, to be financially stable here, all those good stuff, the right things to say really at the time. But I made a decision probably long before I even started that Twitter space, and long before I even clicked mint, that I was a believer, and I still am a believer. I still so I actually ended up to end that story because I did end up selling, to the people that want to know. We're on the blockchain. You could go check that shit if you really want. I actually ended up selling into the Kith snapshot. So it's funny. I had my opinion, rarity is not really a thing in that project. It's really like perceived rarity. So like mine was actually ranked like there's a 5,000 collection, probably like number 4,900 and change. But consensus was my PFP, because the features that my character had in the profile picture specifically was like, bar none, the best guy to have. So I had a solid offer on it leading into that pump. So I accepted the offer like right at the snapshot, and then was still able to mint the kith. So that was pretty cool. I'm still holding my kith. And I still have, me and my other boy split one. So I still have plenty of more equity in Invisible Friends. And I'm a big believer. I think they're onto something, merging fashion, streetwear into Web3. Kith, I'm sure most people know, is a massive, company in itself. And I think it's good synergy. So it's exciting.
Let's go. Love to hear it. Listen, for everybody listening, for everybody watching, I made HURDDD a custom Invisible Friend shirt that is his
It's in
Invisible
Jersey.
Friend. And
I would love to show it right now. It's
it was one of
incredible.
the hardest things I've ever done, and it was one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. It
Let
turned
me
out
tell you
so
one
sick.
thing. Let me tell you one thing. I've been watching that guy to see if he lists it. It's been listed. Just for those wondering, if you want to go buy it, you'll disappoint me, but at least it's in good hands. It's been listed, but just with the current market conditions and everything involved, I'm not ready to pull the trigger. But it's been listed. He's actually taking a slight loss on it, so I feel kind of bad for the guy. I feel like I fucked him if I buy it back. Like I took the kith and then I bought it back from him for like an ETH and a half, cheaper. But it's the way of the road sometimes.
That's how we get down in the DGen world, dog. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah,
gotta do
that's
it.
it, man.
I love
Listen,
it. I love to
I'm
see
sure
it.
someone's done it to me on the back end, right?
Listen, I've gotten rugged a bunch of times, so I can take a few wins. You know what I mean?
That's it, man.
I'd love to hear it.
100%.
Okay, so we're gonna move straight into inspiration, man. Inspiration's huge. I think that you have a lot of inspiration because your work ethic is insane. I'm gonna throw you some flowers and just say, dude, you inspire me. You inspire me with your kindness. You inspire me through your family. You inspire me to just keep going, man. And so I think that's built our relationship to another level, and I love that. So, I go back to the one life thing, man. We got one life, and we're out here getting it. You know what I mean? And we're not out here necessarily for the money. We're just out here doing our best every single day. And this is a really good question. I got a lot of different answers, but what is one lesson in your life you've had to learn the hard way?
That's a good one. Like I said, I come from a strong foundation, good family, strong morals and ethics instilled young. So I had the luxury of, my dad was always there to answer all my questions and walk me through stuff. So, I would say that the toughest thing that you learn along the way is shit ain't easy. And if it's easy, you're probably not doing it right, because you could probably be doing more. What I've learned along the years is, as a kid coming up in work and whatnot, I started my work career pretty early. And you realize, when you first start working out, and I was young, so rightfully so, like I was sticking around, but I was getting shit done. But I was able to kind of walk that tightrope of just like sliding by, and then like it kind of jogs on you, like you could be doing more, and you probably should be doing more. And if you did more, it'd probably be better for you too, and for everything involved. So like, that's kind of when I had that moment where I was like, do more, just do it, just do. And that's what I try to live by. I try to know that, you don't get faced with something you can't handle. So if it comes your way, it's your job to get it done. Right?
Let's go, dude. We're riding. Do more, dude. Just straight up.
Just
I love it, dude. Just do more. That's it right there.
And that's not like a knock if you're not doing, right? Like it's more of like it's not because you can't be doing. right? It's because you're focused somewhere else, or you're not giving it the right space or time or thought process, right? So you just got to kind of, reassess sometimes. And it's all time, like you said, you live once, and you got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to do some things to be a human, right? But other than that, right, it's how you spend your time and what you spend it doing. So um I'm not a believer, and I use the excuse myself, and I'm at fault like anybody else, but I'm not a believer in when somebody says, oh, you could you do this or you want to do that, and you're like, bro, I don't have the time, right? That's
Yeah.
bullshit. That's bullshit. That's you don't want to make the time to get that done. And like I said, I'm big at fault at that myself, something I'm working on. um, if it's important, you got the time. I had the
100%.
I had the time to mint my invisible friend at 4 p.m. prompt at the second the mint went live, right? Like, you have the time, right?
Yeah.
It's about what you decide is gonna be spent on.
Oh
So
yeah, of course, man. It's like it's the fact that you're here doing this with me right now, and it's fucking almost midnight there. You know what I mean? Like, I
ride,
appreciate the
baby.
fuck out of that, and it's because you wanted to do it and you cared enough to do it, right? So it's like, something I had to work on a very long time, probably about 5 years. I just have been working on what you're saying is I don't have enough time. It's not that you don't have enough time; it's that you choose to do different things, right? And so it's like
Right.
I tell people, like, you know, I don't watch TV, I don't play video games, even though I love those things. I don't do those because I do other things that I'm focused on doing better in my life, right? Like this podcast, you know what I mean? Like just posting more on Twitter, just being more in the Web3 space, because that's something that I want. So I'm not going to regret not doing as much as I could at this young of an age, right? And pushing myself, but still being a good husband, still being a good dad, right? And so it's like those things are capable, or obtainable is the word I'm looking for. You just have to do it. You have to
Yeah.
focus. You have to do it. You have to have ways that you do it. And it's kind of funny that you kind of brought up V friends, because my V friend one is a balanced beetle. And I've always had to search for balance in my life because I'm 110% or nothing.
Yeah.
And so I don't do anything half assed, right? Like, we're literally filming this episode. This is episode 11. I've only posted 6, right? Because I'm fucking going all in on this shit, because I'm not going to say that I didn't do this to the best of my ability, right? It could completely flop,
That's right.
whatever, because I'm out here riding, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I love that, man. I love that you said that. And of course we all make, excuses. Everybody's human, but
Listen, man.
you're right,
Shit
dude. We all,
happens in life,
yes,
right? Like,
100%, dude.
that's. And it's not anyone's fault. And I think you mentioned regret, and I think we should spend less than 30 seconds, because this is a very positive and inspirational, talk. But regret, like, that's something that you think about, because, like, at the end of the day, you think about, like, all right, what did I accomplish today, right? And then tomorrow you could be like, all right, well, yesterday I didn't really do so much, so, like, whatever, today's just going to be another day, and
Yep.
that's living off your regret that you didn't do something better the day before. Or you could channel that energy in the way that we like to do that, which is, oh fuck, yesterday wasn't my best day. We all have off days, that happens. But today I'm fucking crushed this day. This is my
100%.
fucking day, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm a shit on this day. This is my fucking
Yeah,
day.
let's go. So, dude, self-awareness is an ultimate key to life. If I can tell you guys something, my wife has been she's doubled down on that for me. Is self-awareness, and then is just self-awareness, and then moving forward. Just
Yeah,
moving forward. You can't look back, you gotta move forward. That's it, dude. We're out here
that's
riding. All right, I'm gonna ask you a little bit of tough question. So
it.
I know you like your job, and I don't think your boss is going to watch this, but do you love your job more, or do you love Web3 more?
Ooh, that's that's a loaded one, because I'm a big believer in, as a husband, as a father, whatever, call it old school, if you will. I'm gonna provide for my family.
Yeah.
Um, they're gonna have what they need, and hopefully what they want, right? But they're gonna have what they need, and they're gonna have a roof over their head and food every night, and whatever basic necessities are and whatnot. Um, so I'm a believer that sometimes we sacrifice things that we love to give our people what they need, right, to be successful in their own right. I love Web3. I believe Web3 is going to change Web2, the world, whatever you want to call it, the way we do things in certain aspects of our lives. And I'm here for it, and I'm going to double down and be here for that process. It's tough to say that I love Web3 more because I'm not in it all day, right? And I don't have to deal, I have the luxury of being able to turn it on and off when I please, right? Because it's kind of like a side gig or side hustle for me. So if I choose not to be trading, or if that's a decision I make, um, I'm not there for those peaks and valleys that that some people don't have the stomach for, right? The money that I'm investing is money that when I put it in, I said this is going to be moon or dust, right? This is not going to be my rent money. So I've had the luxury of being able to sit through this bear market and not really feel the fear that some people are feeling, like of not paying rent or not being able to provide food for their family. So I don't want to be in that position. And right now, the space is too early that you're either a project creator where you're swimming in dough right now, or you're left to pick up the scraps like us and try to make those really smart trades and do that stuff. But to do that, you got to be Web3. You got to be living this shit. You got to be 2 a.m. in Discord, wake up 7, back in Discord, grinding that shit, and it's work. And what I'm learning is, and I think that's has to deal with the bear market that we're seeing, is a lot of people don't have the stomach for it. A lot of people were over leveraged to exorbitant extents, and now when shit hits the fan, you realize like who's really here, right? And who's really going to do shit and who's really along for the ride. So like, since I have been just sitting in projects that I like, I'm not so worried about the 90% corrections or whatever it is in any given project. But if I was 100% Web3, you best believe I'd be fucking on one right now, So I think it's all about perspective. I think I see a future. Right now, I'm trying to benefit off Web3 passively. Just give a little bit of my time, make the right investments, and hope that I hit something. But I do believe down the road, I'll find a synergy for myself to connect into Web3 on a business level.
Sounds fire, dude. What a fucking answer. So I've never asked that question before. My question is normally, what about Web3 inspires you to do it every day or want to do it every day? And so that's why I kind of had to ask you that, because I know you do enjoy your job, and you're like me, you're old fashioned, right? Like, I tell people all the time, I fucking hate my job, but I will die in that job for my family no matter what, so my wife can be at home with the kids. And
Right.
that's fine if you don't want your wife to be at home with the kids, but that's just how I am. And so like,
Yep.
I will do whatever, right? Like you said. So you kind of answered it incredibly. Like, I love it, the perspective thing, and I could see you totally being a Web3, you know what I mean, in a business way. And I think it's great to just be on the sidelines watching, learning, for that when that time comes, you can just fucking strike. And so I love
Absolutely,
that.
man.
I love your answer. Do you have anybody in your life that's like an inspirational leader, or someone you've looked up to, maybe in the present time or just your whole life? Do you have anybody that you've looked up to, like a mentor or anything?
Yeah, I think along the way, I've had a lot of different mentors in different ways. I've had the privilege to learn from a lot of successful people in their own rights, be it whatever their professional field. But I've had the privilege of speaking to them firsthand, and being in that atmosphere and learning a lot in the process. I'm a big believer that nobody's perfect, and I see a lot of really good things in a lot of people. But sometimes, even in the best of people, you see a lot of really bad things, right? So, what I've spent my professional career, because I've had a couple business mentors, like on that side of the coin. The first one was my father. When I worked with my father, I learned a ton from my father, and that was mainly where my work ethic came from, bar none. Yeah, my dad. For sure. He's crazy. He's a tyrant. No, I'm kidding. He's great. He's great. So like, what I've learned is a lot of people are successful in different ways, and everyone's got their own recipe, and there's no one size fits all. So I just try and make a mixture of a lot of the best qualities that I've learned from people, and just kind of put that shit in a blender and make that me, and embrace that. Um, so I do have mentors, but I would say collectively I like learning from people and trying to do better. Right?
Fucking love
Want
it,
to be
dude.
better than the guy that I liked.
Dude, you're spitting absolute fire. Put it in a fucking blender, mix it up, dude, because we're on the way to just killing it. Love it. I can't wait to clip that, dude. It's gonna be the best clip. I'm already thinking. I already got the time written down. Don't you worry about it, dude. Listen, we end off inspiration with, what is your favorite inspirational movie? This should be good because you're a big sports fan, but it might not be a sports movie. A lot of people, when it first started, was the sports movies, and then it kind of has gotten away from sports movies.
I would have to say it's got to be a sports movie. I can't put a finger on which one would be like my one, right? Like,
You have a few. You can give me a few. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, where am I going blank right now? Oof. This one's lost on me.
What's football movies? What about football movies?
Yeah, I mean, like Blindside is a big one. I like that one.
Okay.
I like a lot of the sports movies are a lot like feel good, right? Like even the one that like Hustle came out on Netflix with Adam Sandler just now. Like I'm a big believer in that, because I believe like when you try to do good, for others, like it comes back, like, so.
Dude, I love feel good movies, man. I'm a big feel good movie guy.
Dodgeball is like funny, but that's like
true underdog story. True underdog story.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of underdog.
That's a good one, dude. Nobody said that. The common ones have been Pursuit of Happiness.
Yep, that was one that was lost on me.
Remember the Titans. And two people said Hook, which was, I was shocked, but two people said that. So that was
an
great.
Interesting one.
But Peter Pan, dude, we're riding. I love that. I hope that you can figure out more, and you can let me know, dude, because I know you got a bank right here.
I do.
Okay, listen, we're rolling into positivity. This is it, dude. Positivity is fucking the best thing in the world. Negativity is so loud. It's not even funny. The news reports it. The world reports it. The world reports negativity because it sells. Fuck that, dude. We're on a mission here at Hyped to make positivity louder, to slam negativity in the ground. So let me ask you, a lot of people's answers to this, yes, but have you struggled with negativity? And if you have, how have you turned away from that? How have you stiff-armed it? How have you worked towards positivity?
So, like anyone else, life's hard, right? Yeah. Shit happens. We're all up against a lot, whatever it be, family, friends, work issues. Everyone's got issues, right? And if you don't got issues, you're a liar. That's real talk. Yeah. So, definitely like, some moments in my life, there was a lot more negativity. But I'm also a big believer in negativity is only cool if it's in your own head, right? People could say shit, but if you don't believe it, it's all cool, right? You're your own, it's you versus you a lot of the time. It's you versus your mind. So I find that when I was up against the most negativity, it was really myself putting too much pressure on myself. And, the only way to overcome that is either put less pressure on yourself or do better. Right?
That's right.
So, and a lot of it also takes time. Gary Vee talks a lot about time, and I'm a big believer in that. 25-year-old who's just been grinding ahead. I don't nothing's going to happen overnight. Some people get lucky, and it does click overnight, and they just hit it and whatever it is. But a lot of people, got to do that slow grind, and I'm here for that, and I'm cool with that. Nothing given, everything taken. You got to earn that shit, right? So, like I find that when you're having the negativity, you kind of got to like put, I'm a big believer in reassessing and taking a step back and being like, all right, where is this coming from, and for what reason is it justified, right? Like, is there a reason that I should even be thinking this way? And then once you put all those things into perspective, you kind of realize there's more times than not a reason for that, and whatever you were doing was probably like either too much pressure, too much stress, or whatever the case is. And then you just try to fix that and learn from it, so you don't find yourself in that predicament again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to drop a quote right now on you, dude. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. Straight up. Like,
Fucking
let's
love
go.
that.
We're riding.
Love
We're
that.
growing. We're getting
Love
better
it.
every day, dude. Time, me versus me. Love it, dude. Every day it's me versus me, dude. Ain't nobody else. You know what I mean? It's my mind
Nobody
that
can
I'm going
get
to
in your
battle
way.
with. Let's go,
Right.
dude. We're riding. What are the positive benefits of Web3? Tell me what you think.
There's a lot of positive benefits in the world. A lot of us get skewed by a lot of things, be it materialistic things. When you meet someone, what they're wearing, how they're dressed, what they say, color of their skin, or whatever the case might be. So a lot of times we have a lot of barriers to meet new people and meet new friends from across the world, even language barriers or whatever. What I've learned is, it's all bullshit, right? Like, we're all people, and if you're good people, I want to know you, right? And if you're not good people, I don't want to know you. And you learn in this space, like, you could befriend a lot of people that you never would have thought you would even have stuff in common with, or see eye to eye on certain things, like. And you realize, like, people are good. Like, people want friends. People want to have a good time. People aren't always trying to fuck you. Some people are, but that's there's bad apples here and there. So what I've learned is, in Web3 you can, and that's how we met, right? Like, you can just take someone at face value, because there's nothing to hide. You're hiding behind the screen, right? Nobody knows who you are a lot of the time, or whatever. So you can be real, right? And people that fuck with that, that's great. And people that don't fuck with that, that's cool too, right? Everyone does their own thing.
Let's go. Here's the real alpha I heard, dude. If you haven't been fucked, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because life fucks you all the time. So
Life fucks
you
you
got
all
to
the
get
time.
through it. You got to get up. You know what I mean? It's not how hard you get hit. It's how hard you get, or I don't even know the quote, but get back up, baby. We're riding. Let's
That's
go.
right.
You know what I mean? Okay, listen. This is a separate segment in between positivity and enthusiasm. So I'm a big believer in faith and manifestation. I manifest every day. I've been manifesting for so many years. I'm a big faith guy. What can you tell me about your faith? Tell me about if you manifest. Tell me a little bit about that. Do you believe in that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in that, which is, I think, whatever religion you believe in, or if you don't, or whatever, I think the main thing is to understand that there's bigger than you, um, in this world, and it doesn't all start and end at you. And I think when you believe that, you learn that you got to do good if you expect good things to happen in your life, right? You got to treat people well if you expect them to treat you well back. So those are all things that, regardless of religion or anything like that, I think if you have those core values, right? So, like, I have those core values. I pray every day. I manifest stuff. I think about stuff that I want to happen, right? If you're not thinking about what you want, then how are you going to get it, right? Because you're not doing anything to get to that point, right? So, like, I'm a big believer in willing it, like, through to what you said, like, making it happen through the power of, you want it so bad, that's all you think about it, you live it, you breathe it, until all of a sudden it's there. uh, the trick with that is, sometimes you get so engulfed in the process that once you reach that point, you don't appreciate that you've gotten there, right? And that's kind of where I've seen a lot of people fall, if you will. A lot of successful people, like, have hit, like, what they would consider their peak, And then I would argue it was all downhill from there, right? When I would also argue they were still in peak performance for what they could have done,
Yeah.
right? So like at that point, they got complacent with where they were, and I think that's a bad spot to find yourself in.
Yeah, I think like I love that, man. I love that. I think once you get there, this like if you have big goals and you get there, you got to reset your goals, right? You got to want something more. You know what I mean? You got to want to always be better, and so you got to fall in love with the process and fall in love with the journey. Is something that I've learned over the past 7 years of working in the business that I've worked in. Is like you fall in love. You fall in love with the process, and you reach these crazy things, but you just keep going and you keep dreaming big, and yeah, man, always trying to improve, because if you get stagnant, like you said, you can just start going down. I
It's all
love that,
downhill.
man. Manifest every day, dude. You manifest every day. So do you tell people about, like your man, do you manifest, like you said, you manifest every day, but do you talk to other people about your manifestations? You keep it in.
Some yes, some no.
All right.
You know, I I'm at one with myself, with I'm a big believer, right? If you do everything you can do, and like I really mean like do everything you can do, then what's going to be is what's going to be, right? Your job is to do the best you can, and like the actual best you can. And you're not going to change the outcome. At the end of the day, the outcome is going to be the outcome, right? So like some things, I'll share, let's say like with my wife or my friends, like like I want to do this or I want to do that. But some things I also want to do for me, right? To show myself, you knew you could do it and you fucking did it, right? Like you fucking got that shit done.
Let's go.
So some, like, I manifest all the basic stuff that I think a lot of people pray for, health, happiness, wealth, no issues, right? Like basic stuff. But I think that there's stuff beyond that, right? Like that you could want, um, and stuff you should strive for, right? So like that's what I'm in for.
I love it. I love it, dude. You're crushing it. You're just fucking crushing it. This is incredible. Listen, we're rolling into enthusiasm. This is my shit. This is Tornado's shit. This
This
is what
is
I
definitely
fucking
your world.
have. This is, I give it to everybody, man. My energy is crazy. I just cement one life. Everybody, right? Like, how can you not be fucking pumped up when you wake up? Listen, I got fucked up days too. I get days I don't want to do shit. But listen, I have this opportunity that other people don't have. I got clean water. Some people don't have clean water. I got fucking kids. I got a wife. Some people don't have that. You know what I mean? I'm out here pumped, and I want other people to be pumped, because we are literally so fucking blessed out here to have this opportunity. And I just, like, I want to share that energy. You know what I mean? I've been gifted with this energy, so I'm just exploding that to people, literally like a tornado, dude. I'm just spinning
Love
my
that.
energy to the world, and we are just out here riding this positivity, enthusiasm
Oh,
wave within Hyped. Listen, this is one of my favorite questions of the show. What are 3 things in your life right now that you can't get enough of?
three things in my life that I can't get enough of. In what sense of like?
Yeah, whatever, dude. What are 3 things right
Yeah.
now that you can't get enough of, dude? Listen, I've never answered this question. My kids,
Okay.
okay, my kids, and then I'll say macro version of that is my son, my oldest son, being passionate about very little things like monster trucks right now. He's literally so passionate about monster trucks. I love it. I told my wife I can't wait till he gets older and he's just more passionate about other things. Passionate, or another thing is I'm living in the now. I'm just absolutely obsessed with that, and I'm obsessed with this
Oh,
podcast, man. 100%. Like, I fucking love this, dude. I
love
shoot
that.
an episode every night if I could, dude. I
Let's
can't,
go.
but I love it, dude. I love
Yeah,
it. I live for it. So, anyways,
love
you go
that. So
now.
my three would probably be, for starters, probably my wife and my family. My backbone is, we're big on
Yeah.
family. I think we've probably gathered that by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that's one thing that's like can't get enough of that. Can't live without that. That's my shit. Probably my friends. I have a lot of really good friends that I would probably consider family, like real family. And that probably couldn't get enough of that. And then I think my third thing's probably like my time, right? Um, you gotta unplug, right? You got like it's healthy to do that. It's healthy to reassess. It's healthy to do things differently the next day than you were trying the day before, even to do the same thing that you were trying to do. Um, so I'm a big believer in that, and I'm a big believer like when I get home, I call it like my me time. I needed a second. Um, where I just unwind. I reassess the day, what happened, what was good, what was bad, how could I have fixed that better, how could I have dealt with this better. So that's big thing to me. And also not even for other things, included in my me time is scrolling through my Twitter feed and my Instagram feed and just feeling good, seeing my friends and just watching sports highlights or whatever the hell, makes you happy. So that's big to me.
Let's go leisure time. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it,
you
man.
need that, like
Yeah.
like your time,
100%.
right?
Yeah. To reset, you just like resetting
That's it.
for the next day, right? Because you're the type of person every viewer knows at this point, and listener, that you go 100%.
Oh yeah,
You ain't fucking around at work, you ain't fucking around in your life. Listen, and so I love it, dude. I love that reset, and I would say that my reset right now, dude, is fucking hitting the punching bag. I live for that shit, dude. Bought a heavy bag. I tell everybody
let's
to buy a heavy
go.
bag. Put it in your apartment. Put it in your house. Whatever,
Love
dude.
that.
Go
Let's
hard
go.
as fuck for like 20 minutes and just fucking ride. I'm telling you, I feel like on fire after that.
Love
So
that.
we're riding. Listen, what has been the biggest accomplishment of your life?
I would say my probably my biggest accomplishment year to date in my lifetime. Um, Probably been the way that I've handled um, the business decisions that were thrown at me. Um, I was young when a lot of different things were happening in my life, and I was probably unfit to make a lot of decisions that I had to make for myself, and at the time was going to be for my future wife, right? Um, so I would say, you know, it's easy to say all the accomplishments that got you up to there is probably your biggest, but I think the biggest accomplishment is actually getting it done for what I wanted to do, which was selling a business and launching a new one. Um, so I would say my biggest accomplishment was probably actually executing that actual vision. Um, but it's easy to say that the job, in the words of Kobe Bryant, right? Coming off a game 6 finals win, going into game 7, I think he scored 40 or some points, or I think it was MJ. And they're like, oh, great game. He's like, Jolly ain't done, right? The job's not done, right? I got through the first phase of what I wanted to do, but that's nowhere for what I want to do, right? So my biggest accomplishment is probably executing that first phase, um, but by no means is that the end, right?
Let's go. I love it. The execution, but at the same time, the job ain't finished, motherfuckers. We're out
Same.
here riding, dude. Listen, I love it. I love the answer. I love the fact that you're going. You keep going. And just like you said, Doug, job ain't finished. Say that shit every day you wake up. It ain't finished because I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep doing bigger things, better things for whoever, for yourself, for your wife, for your fucking unborn child that's coming. You know what I mean? That's it.
Right.
You keep going because the job is not finished. Job ain't finished until you
Job
fucking
ain't
are done,
finished.
dude. Until it's
Till you're
over.
6 feet under, bro.
Until
6 feet under, the
you're not
job's
breathing no
finished.
more. Boom.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean?
Real
Fuck,
talk.
man. When I'm retired, I'm gonna be doing some crazy shit. I don't know what it's gonna be
You?
like, but it's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
wild. I'm gonna be, dude. It's gonna be crazy, man. Like, listen, yeah, listen, we're riding. Okay, what's your most exciting moment in Web3?
Probably been. I mean, that's I feel like unfair in the sense of, at the end of the day, we're all here for one thing, right? It's financial gains, and the hope that we're early enough that we could be the early investors in Apple and Microsoft and Google 20 years ago, right? So I think the thought from everybody that's here, or at least, that's unfair. Let's call it like 95%, because there is a small select of people that are true collectors at heart, and believe, in that art piece that they bought, or whatever the case is. But the other 95%, vast majority, is here to try and make some real money, and try and make some generational money, like, early venture capital type money, right? So my most exciting moment is probably skewed by financial gains, is probably what I'm getting at here. But my best moment was probably the night that I minted that invisible friend, just because the hype was blowing through my body. The engagement on Twitter was, we've all been through that rush. It's incredible. You join a new community, and the ones that are really strong, like, at least, like, come in, and so my most exciting moment was probably that. But, again, it's probably skewed. The other one would probably be like other side. Just that rush that I had, knowing that I had KYC'd and a million people that didn't. That was a cool moment for me, because, like, I felt like, wow, you actually got something right here. Congratulations, right? Because, they're coming off a bunch of losses like everybody else, right? Tough market, we're in. So yeah, those would probably be my two standout moments.
How much have you only pulled money out when you sold your invisible friend? Is that the only time you've pulled money out?
Pulled money out as in, like, take money off the table, US dollars,
Uh-huh.
or pull it out into ETH and not redeploy it, like, what do
USD.
you?
USD.
So I've never, um damn, I sound like fucking PO here. I've never sold my crypto. Um
So
how about
so so let me, sorry, I ought to interrupt you,
Dad?
because I
Yeah.
arguably think, I do agree with you that people are in it for money, but a lot of people that I'm meeting haven't pulled money out. Like, I've never pulled any money out, right? And I've won. I've lost a lot, but I've won. You know what I mean? Because your big wins are your big wins,
Yeah.
right? So, but I've never pulled money out because,
So I think that's also twofold, right? And sorry
yeah,
to cut you off there, but what I was gonna say is, like, I everybody's here for a similar reason, but not everybody's working their bankroll the same way, right? Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah, I
So,
get
like,
that.
when I bought crypto, um, that was my investment at the time, and then conviction builds and you put more, or whatever the case is, or you pull out, or, whatever the case is. But when I segued into the crypto world, I had a belief that the money that I was putting in was very risk attached.
Yeah,
And I didn't put more than I felt okay, quote unquote, losing, right? Not literally okay. I probably would have been very mad if that ever happens, but, quote unquote, it won't, like, change your life, right?
yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
won't,
yeah.
like, God forbid, lose your car or your house or whatever the case is, right? So that's why, me personally, I've never actually liquidated to US dollar, right? I don't worry about this 80% correction on ETH, because I have a 10, 20-year horizon on that. I applied that same mentality, probably for the not the right reasons, to NFTs, um, and probably for not the better, because NFTs are not as established as crypto is at this point. So it's a lot more risk on, and even holding these assets is a lot more risk adverse, and you got to have an appetite and a stomach to deal with that. Um, but I've mainly been focused, because I have that 10, 20-year horizon on ETH, on building that ETH stack, right? So using that ETH in NFTs or whatever, and just trying to grow that stack, so that eventually, when crypto does rebound, it's kind of like compounding interest on your money. So, like I said, I had a long-term horizon on it. So even when I sold and made a large profit, my goal was reinvest that back into the ecosystem, and just, I'm shooting for generational type wealth here. You know, my kid's either gonna get a fucking ledger that's fucking stacked up his ass, or it's gonna be worthless, right? There's no in between for me right now. That's where I'm at.
I agree with that. Dude, that's where I'm at too. But I can
Yeah.
say, and I'll say, is that, man, like I talked about it a little bit on one of my other podcasts, but I just like the relationships that I've made are crazy, man. Like, you know what I mean? I played college football, so like we were tight. You know what I mean? We were tight. We were fucking grinding 7 days a week. I don't
Yeah.
talk to any of those guys. You know what I mean? It's like wild the connections you can make in this space. And I think that's what's so cool is like, you know, for me personally, I've been looking for a way to give hyped to the world. And it's kind of crazy how this found me, and I can do that now in a way that I love and I think is super impactful. Um, because originally my plan was to sell t-shirts, but I didn't want to fucking sell t-shirts. I didn't want to be a clothing brand. I was like, I don't, you know, yes, I do want people to wear my shirts and feel good, but like, no, I want people to fucking know this shit. You know what I mean? And know who I am. And so it's been a crazy experience. But yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. I'm like, I'm generational wealth. I'm looking for some
That's
real
it.
shit. I'm looking for like life-changing shit. And
Life-changing
obviously
shit. Yeah.
we all have the definition of life-changing wealth, but I don't need fucking 3 ETH. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful for that. I'm not putting anybody down that
Yep.
doesn't need that. You know what? If you need that, you take that shit out. You know what I mean? But like,
100%.
you know, certain people. So I love that. I love that we talked about that. Dreams, man. Listen,
Dreams.
I'm a fucking delusional optimist. So I'm just like, the world's good. You know what I mean? I'm out here. Like, I just, as such a delusional optimist, I dream so big. My dreams are fucking crazy. You know, I hope one day to like publish my dream book or something. People can read my dreams. You know, when I went to New York, I let NFT Loverboy read my dream book. I was like, yo, read these, dude, because this is how crazy I am. I'm telling you, like, I was not even a joke. Like, I've been talking about retiring at 35 since I was 18 because it's going to happen. And I'm going to say it until it happens. And the crazy thing is that I think it's probably going to happen sooner. And it's like, I tell people I don't want to retire to stop doing shit. I want to retire so I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to read you. So the question is, what is the dream that you have for your life? And I'm going to read you the dream that I have for my life first to give you a little bit of context. Okay. The dream that I have for my life, Gentle Tornado, I am an honest, enthusiastic, and successful man that will inspire others to live their life through happiness.
Wow. It's a nice dream.
Thanks.
A nice dream. I think my dream is, you know, I have a funny thing with dreams. I don't really dream much. You know, I'm a big believer, like you do, shoot for the stars, land on the moon, right?
Yep.
Or die trying.
Yep. 100%.
But I also believe in, you know, what I was alluding to before, where if you dream big and then you exceed your dream, and then you find yourself complacent, then did you really dream big enough, right? So I don't want to put boundaries, right? So I would say I think my dream is similar to you as far as I want to do good, I want to be good, I want to be good for those around me, right? Because a lot of times you could be good but not be good for those around you in the way that they need you to be good. So I want to be good, and I want to do good, and I want to be good for those around me, and I want to do what I strive and set out to do and get shit done. So that's kind of my dream.
Absolutely love it, dude. Love your dream. Love it. Listen, dude, build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs. That's it right there, dude. And like you said, man, you dream big and then you dream bigger, right? So like I said, like, I love that you say that, because my dream is like, yeah, retire at 35. And after I have dreams after that, you know what I mean?
Because it's just hyped really, by then it'll be massive, but that's when it really blows.
That's right. We're hoping.
Promise me one thing, when you blow up, you'll keep going.
It's not. There's no stop. Listen, dude. That's because like, it's kind of funny, man. Like, first of all, I appreciate that. Truly humbled by you saying that. I think that I love that, man. I love that because like Pio, dude. So I did Pio's episode like maybe a week ago, and he's really concerned at just telling me to keep going. And he just keep telling me to keep going. And I just looked at him, and this was after we got done with the pod. I was like, dude, you have no idea, man. I was like, it's not even a thing, man. I won't stop. I can't stop, especially now that Hyped is becoming, people's lives, a part of people's lives, and I'm positively impacting them in a way that is really good. It's for me the motivating factor, man, because I truly feel like I was blessed. I feel like I was gifted this, who I am, and I want to give that to everybody. And so the more successful, because I don't hear the noise, right? I've been very successful in my life, just like you said. You sold a business, right? And you started another business. Like, I don't hear the noise, because when the podcast starts doing well, it's going to happen. I'm just going to go harder. I'm just going to keep having these dynamite guests, like, you and Moose and Rennie. I have these other guys, and I'm going to have women on, and it's just going to keep getting bigger. And it's like, I'm just going to get better. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Love that.
I just know that, because that's who I am. Is that's the process for me. Is, like I said, like, I'm on it. This is episode 11. I've only done 6 live, right? There's 6 are only are out in public. It's because, like, this ain't no half-ass shit. It's I'm so motivated to share this message with the world that needs it. And so, yeah, dude, I appreciate it. I promise you, I'm not stopping, even when we make it.
Love
dude.
that, man.
Even when we
Love
make
that.
it, dude.
We got a big fan over here, baby.
Thank you. When we make it, listen, it's going to be wild. I don't even
That's
know.
it,
Listen,
baby.
if Hypes makes it, I want everybody to work for me. I'm like, I want
I'm
you to
coming
work
on
for
the
me.
payroll,
Yeah,
baby.
let's go,
I'm
dude.
coming on the
You already
payroll.
right
Let
here,
go.
I'm already thinking about it. Okay, listen, if you could tell your 13-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
You could do what you believe you could do.
Let's go.
Yeah, you could fucking do it.
Let's fucking go. I love it. You do whatever the fuck you want. Listen, you have
Yeah.
control of your life.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
Straight up. We're riding. Okay, if you had one dream in Web3, what would it be? Like, your biggest dream in Web3?
Probably do something revolutionary. We all have so many different ideas being in this space. Like, oh, this project should try to do that, right? Or, this team should do this, or a project should launch that will do this, right? And I think a lot of them are, good ideas that have good context behind them, but execution, right? That was what I was talking about earlier. Like, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
We all have ideas. Some of us have really good ideas, but if you don't execute them, then they're just ideas. So I want to do something revolutionary that I can actually execute in my own right, and something that when the time comes, to your point, because I think the time will come where I'll make that leap. I just don't know when or how or in what capacity.
I love it.
But be equipped and be ready to go, right? Be ready to pounce.
Listen, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, HURDDD is already full-time Web3. Times just hasn't caught up. And then my second mind is, I cannot wait for HURDDD to work at Hyped with me. We're fucking riding. Listen, and I can't wait to be able to give you your second baby gift. We're just riding. Listen, those are just all things that have in my mind that have already happened.
You got too many gifts already.
Listen, don't worry. You're gonna love that hatch. I'm telling you, man. The baby's gonna love that hatch. That shit is a life changer.
Yes,
every one of my kids has it. We're riding. Listen, one of one. You're gonna have to post a photo of the onesies that I gave you, dude.
Yep.
Okay, listen, I'm going to share my screen. This is one of the most important things in my life. I want to share it with every single person I know, okay? It's this poem. It's called The Dash. It's by Linda Ellis, okay? I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real and always try to understand the way other people feel and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
Love that.
Hey,
I love that.
have you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard that poem, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, when all's said and done, and I mean all is said and done, and you know, you're about to go 6 feet under. You can't take it with you, right? It's all staying, whatever it is, whether materialistic or whatever your actions, you know, your deeds, good or bad, it all stays. Um, I'm a big believer in legacy, right? And building a legacy that could be bigger than what you instill, right? You know, you drive by community centers or churches, you know, and you see someone's name on it, and you're like, wow, you know, that guy's name is living on in this light um, forever, right? Like literally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the reality, right? You know, when you go under, everything is here for the public to see, right? Everybody's, you know, everything gets left behind. So you better do the right things, right? So that what's left behind for your kids and, you know, for them to pick up the pieces, right? People know, you know, that guy was good, right? So his son must be good, right? Like, you know, you leave that shit behind and it's impactful.
Love it, dude. I love it, man. I'm so glad you had never heard that. It's
No, I never
incredible,
heard
man.
that. It's great.
Think about it.
Love
Think about
that.
it all the time.
Dash.
So listen, so how we wrap the show is the first thing we start off with is I have been obsessed, me and my wife, lately on living in the now. So what that means to us is just being fully present with our kids, being fully present with ourselves in our relationship, being fully present with our friends and family. Um, and truly just living for now. So when I tell you that, what do you think about that? Are you working on that? Do you do that already? Tell me a little bit about that for you.
Yeah, that's definitely, you know, something that I struggle with personally. Um, a lot of us get engulfed in the daily bullshit of what we deal with, work, friends, family, whatever. Um, but you know, you get swarmed in it, and it, you know, it controls you for a lot. Probably my biggest fault is, you know, I come home from work, uh, long day of grinding and, you know, just powering ahead. And sometimes I bring it home with me, right? Like the stresses of the day, right? And, you know, and that's why I try to do that me time that I've been trying to do where, you know, I decompress, where I let it all go and move on, right? Like you said, never backwards, always forward, right? But sometimes you got to put it to bed, right, to be able to move it forward. So probably my biggest negative, my biggest fault, whatever you want to call it, is, you know, I come home and then like sometimes my wife, you know, will have to take the brunt of that day, whether it was stressful or whatever. Um, so I think that's a big one for me. So I think it's the same as living in now, right? Just understanding, um, you know, you could go from like a hostile environment, let's say, and now you're home, right? This is your home, right? And your wife
Yeah.
is not hostile and she's not out to get you, right? And
Yeah.
she, you know, so like it's me for me, and it's what you alluded to before is balance, right? You gotta have that balance, work life, you know, home life and all of that. So that's probably my toughest thing to do, and I think it has to do with what you're saying, live in the now, like understand where you are at that given point and what is needed of you, be it from your wife or your kids or, you know, whatever it is.
So I'm going to give you alpha. This is great.
Go
This
for
is
it.
incredible how this worked out. So I used to
Bring
do
it.
that. Obviously, I used to do it, not obviously, but I used to do it because like I said, I hated my job. I just fucking hated it very hard. I'm hand to hand combat with a bunch of customers, you know what I mean, every day. So I used to bring it home. And, my wife used to get on me about it. Like, why are you doing this? You need to leave that shit at work. And, and so then I took it to my head and I was like, well, it's about the energy that I bring into this house. Like I want this energy to be positive when I come home. And especially hit me when I had my first son, Bo, where I needed to show up, right? When I showed up at home, I needed to show up with that positivity, that happiness, so he could see that even in the worst of times, like I was fucking pumped to come through that door, right? And so what I started doing, I got a little bit of advice, and I would come home. And I had a lot of talks with my wife about this, but I would come home, this is when we had our first kid. I would say like, hey honey, like, I'd be happy when I came in. I'd kiss her, be like, hey, do you need anything? Do you need me to do anything right now? If she said no, I would immediately go shower. I'd go shower, work off, fuck it, it's off, and I'm done with that. Boom, let's ride. I'm at home. No more work. I'm at home. And that helped me a lot because I would shower it off. I would just cleanse it. And then I would be in the moment. And so now I don't even need that. I don't need to shower immediately when I get home. And honestly, I can't now having 3 kids. So I had to learn how to do that.
Channel
and so,
that. Yeah.
If I could give you a little bit of advice, I had to work through that as well, man. And it's not easy, but you have to work at it especially when you have multiple kids or more 100%. Responsibilities when you come home.
Absolutely.
So, all right, dude. Well, you get to leave the audience with one final thought and then one question.
Go. Oh, me go.
Yeah, you. Yeah. So what's your final thought and what's your final question?
My final thought is, I think it has to do with what you're trying to do here, right? Which is, be good, do good, be happy, be thankful, be inspirational to people, right? Like do so good that people like look at you and like feel like you have it all figured out, right? Nobody's got it all figured out. We know that. But if people see you and like have that feeling, then you're on the right path. And you're headed to do something that can change a lot of lives. And you should change a lot of lives along your journey. Because that's what we're all here for. If you make one person smile a day and you live 1,000,000 days or however many days, I don't know what the rough math is, probably not 1,000,000, but that's a lot of smiles, so
love it.
Whatever.
I love it, man.
Question for you or for the audience?
Fuck it, let's do both. We've never done a question for Gentle Tornado, so I love it.
All right, question for Nato.
Do I answer the question right now or?
Fucking let it rip, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's go, dude. I'm writing.
Question for you is probably, what is the toughest thing that you struggle with to keep your grind on? Be it work, be it this grind on Hyped and the podcast, be it your grind at home, right? Because it is a grind to have kids and manage a family all while doing all these things. So like, what is, where does that come from?
Probably just like kind of like you said, like wanting to do good and be good and harness what I've been gifted with. But it's kind of a struggle because like I said, like I don't like my job. So I work for my dad, so I do everything for him. That's why I work for him. I've wanted him to be able to retire, and it's kind of like doing that every day and not liking it is very hard, and combating negativity throughout my day. But I over exaggerate positivity, and that takes me to different places in my life. And so it's created opportunities for me. It's created success for me. And so I had to learn to love my life even more. Right. And so then I'm not focused on not liking my job. I'm focused on loving my life. And so that's catapulted me in different ways, and being able to do this podcast, being able to be a good dad, and because those are the things that actually matter. My job doesn't matter to me. Like, yes, of course it matters because I need to provide for my family. But at this point in my life, I've learned so much that I can go do anything. Like it sounds cocky, but it's truly humbling that I've been able to be through so many experiences that I feel like I'm capable of doing anything, right? Like, like this podcast, like I didn't know how to do a podcast. I just launched a podcast. Now we're fucking learning every day. I got my wife on board. She's helping me with questions. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm talking to Pio, who's incredible at content. You know what I mean? He's giving me advice. He's telling me I'm doing good. It's like that. It's just motivating me. So I think harnessing that bad shit into the good shit is I guess what I would say. And it all pays off, like you said, dude. If you do good and you keep going, like that's why I fell in love with the process, dude. And it's why I'm so excited about this podcast. I'm so excited about Hyped, and to truly have my wife on board with me is really like something I've been working on for a really long time. So I appreciate the question. Okay, what's the question to the crowd?
Question to the crowd. Ooh. If you could look 10 years down the line, where you at? What are you doing?
It.
What are you
Love
doing?
it. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Love
What are
it.
you doing? That'd probably be my question.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody that's listening, this is fucking a Hyped Happy Hour, episode 11 with my boy HURDDD. This man's a legend. Listen, there was so much nuggets. There was so much good shit. We're riding. We're never going to stop. Gentle Tornado and fucking HURDDD's coming along with me, dude. We're riding.
Love it.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you for having me, baby.
Thanks for coming on.